This lesson is on percent composition. Percent composition is an important concept in chemistry when scientists find an unknown substance. They use the percent composition to help identify the substance. For example, this substance has nitrogen and oxygen in it that they found 24.5 grams of nitrogen and 70 grams of oxygen are in a compound. They can use this information to figure out the formula. Here they have NX and OY because they're going to use percent composition to be able to figure out what the X and the Y are, how many of each type of atom there are. We'll learn this actually in the next lesson, but for now, we're just going to figure out the percentage of each one. So in Roman numeral 3 of your notes, what is percent composition? It is the relative amount of mass of a single element within a compound. The equation for percent composition is the mass of an individual element over the mass of the whole compound times 100%. You'll find a percentage for each element in the compound. Things to keep in mind. All masses and percentages should be rounded to the tens place. There really isn't a significant figure here because we don't have any values that are being measured. So I want you just to do everything to the tens place like we've already been doing masses. Remember, that's 1 after the decimal place. Also, when you calculate your percentages, a total of all the percentages of the atoms for a given compound should equal out to be 100%. Let's move on to an example. An 8.20 gram piece of magnesium combines with 5.40 grams of oxygen to form a compound. What is the percent composition of this compound? Well, we said we're going to take the mass of each one divided by the total. So for magnesium, 8.20 grams over the total, which is 8.20 plus the 5.40 from oxygen. And of course, since this will give us a decimal, we want to multiply by 100. That's going to give us 8.20 over 13.60 times 100 is 60.3%. Notice that, again, I took it to the tens place, 1 after the decimal. Now, I've only found the percentage of magnesium so far. I also want to find the percentage of oxygen. In similar fashion, I'll just put the 5.40 on top of the 13.60 and multiply by 100. This gives me 39.7%. When I add 60.3 plus 39.7, I get 100 because there's a total of 100% in any compound. I can also calculate the percent composition given a formula for a compound. If I know that my compound's formula is C2H6, I have 2 carbons and 6 hydrogens. Looking up carbon on the periodic table, its mass number is 12.0 times 2 gives me 24.0 grams of carbon. What about hydrogen? Hydrogen's mass from the periodic table is 1.0 times 6 is 6.0 grams. So the total mass is 30.0 grams. Now to find each percentage, I'll take carbon's total over the total for the compound, 80.0%, and hydrogen's total over the total for the compound gives me 20%. And of course, 80 plus 20 gives me a total of 100. Sometimes you'll see a follow-up question like this for percent composition. Calculate the mass of carbon in 82 grams of ethane. If you have a question like this, you want to start with your known. That's 82 grams of ethane, C2H6. I got this formula from the previous problem. So I know from the previous problem that carbon is 80% of ethane. if I just multiply by 80%, I can know how many of those 82 grams are carbon. 82 times 80% is 66.